Welcome to the Fit Chicks and Hormones podcast, where I share my insight to help you move through your perimenopause and menopausal years with ease. In this podcast, I talk about natural solutions for balancing your hormones and empowering you to move away from the symptoms like fatigue, mood swings, hot flashes, and resistant weight loss to feeling vibrant, confident, and full of energy as you age gracefully. Let's get started. First, let me know if this is you. You are trying to lose weight, but absolutely nothing is working. And yes, maybe you're in your 40s, your 50s, your 60s, and you've tried all the things and you're just stuck. Like nothing is happening. The scale doesn't move, or maybe it's going up and you're just feeling like frustrated, right? You can't figure out why things aren't happening, why you're not getting results, why things aren't moving, because they used to be able to happen, right? You used to be able to do the same things and you would be able to see things happen and see progress and watch that scale. But now it's not working, right? So here's the thing. It could be that your hormones are out of balance or they are off. And instead of going in and tested, because this is what I hear a lot of people, why should I get my hormones tested? Well, you can, but I can't say that that's going to necessarily help, right? Well, you're going to find out what your numbers are, but then what? You're still going to have to focus on these things that I'm going to be talking about here in just a moment. Okay. These are some indicators that I use with my clients when they get stuck, or maybe they're not making progress like they should be, or they hit a plateau. We take a look at these things. So today I'm going to talk about 6 areas of your life that you need to stop and do a check-in on. They are sleep, hunger, moods, energy, cravings, and digestion. And these are not just some random things that I came up. They are actually interconnected signals that can tell you a lot about what is going on with your hormones. And that is why it's very important to pay attention to these, especially if you're not seeing that weight loss move, that weight loss change, right? So you need to do a check-in of these things and see, are they all on point? Excuse me. Then, okay, let's go to the next step. What can we do? But if these 6 things are not on point and they aren't perfect, they aren't well, then that's where you need to start, okay? So I'm going to break each one down and let you know what you should be paying attention to so that you can finally start seeing that scale move. So first is sleep. This is the cornerstone of hormonal balance. So right now, if you're not getting good sleep, this is where your focus needs to be, 100%. Not even on your nutrition, but your sleep. And during menopause, it's going to get harder and harder. So maybe it's harder to fall asleep, maybe it's harder to stay asleep. Maybe you're waking up in the middle of the night for hours around 3 or 4 o'clock and you can't go back to sleep, right? If that's you, say me. So melatonin is the hormone that's responsible for regulating your sleep and your wake cycle. On the other hand, if you wake up, whoops, I think I missed something. So if you were struggling to fall asleep, it may be that your melatonin is too elevated. Or it's too low. So it's not causing you to go to sleep. Sorry, all discombobulated. So if you're struggling to fall asleep, that's why most of us will take some melatonin, right? So that'll help to drop our melatonin, to help us to fall into a sleep. But if you find that you're waking up during the night, it may be a sign that your cortisol levels are too high, especially if this happens in the early hours of the morning. Your cortisol should naturally decrease at night as your melatonin goes up. So cortisol goes down, melatonin goes up. That's how we fall asleep and stay asleep. But when your cortisol goes up and remains up, that can affect your sleep, especially in the middle of the night. And stress. This is one of the most common causes of elevated cortisol at night. And if you have chronic stress, it can disrupt your natural cortisol rhythm. What's going to do this? Poor sleep habits, such as inconsistent bedtime. So you're going to sleep at 8 o'clock one night, 1 o'clock in the morning the next night. So you're all over the place, right? Or maybe you have exposure to blue lights. You're on your screen like this, right? You're in your phone or watching TV. Blue light from screens will affect your melatonin levels. This can also contribute to higher nighttime cortisol, the stress. It makes your body wired, right? When you're watching shows, you're watching TV, or you're scrolling through Facebook, and things cause you to get a little bit, anxious. That's causing your cortisol levels to rise, which is why you wake up in the middle of the night. Or if you are someone who is stressing about something, you're thinking about something in the middle of you wake up in the middle of the night. That is why you're waking in the middle of the night and can't go back to sleep, because you have elevated cortisol levels. So, what can you do to help you get good sleep? Focus on creating a consistent sleep schedule. So, going to bed at the same time, waking up at the same time every single day. Doesn't have to be exactly the same time, but try to keep it close to the same time as much as possible. Get rid of caffeine. If you're drinking caffeine at all or in the afternoon, stop doing that. Turn your lights down, dim them, make them more calming, right? You don't want to have bright lights. Like I got these white lights shining right in my face. I would not want to do this late at night because then I would never sleep. So turning those lights down low, wearing blue blockers. If you are going to be on your phone, wear blue blocking glasses. And try to add more relaxing things before you go to bed, like reading a book or meditating before you go to bed to help with your sleep quality. I actually just had a client she was stressed out about one of her kids, and she kept thinking about, or a friend of her kids, and she kept thinking about it, thinking about it, thinking about it. She would be thinking about it before she went to bed. So she'd wake up in the middle of the night and wasn't able to go to sleep. Why? Because her cortisol levels were boom. So what I did is I gave her a couple meditations, couple medications, wow, meditations that would help her to finally fall to sleep. And she said it actually worked, and she slept for 7 solid hours. It's about just changing the way your brain is connected to your body and making your body function. So, if you're not getting good sleep, that's why you're not seeing the scale move. So, your first focus needs to be on fixing that sleep. Next up is hunger, your hunger cues. So, are you someone who's feeling ravenous, like you're hungry all the time, no matter what you eat, no matter when you eat? Or maybe you're not hungry at all. These extremes can point to issues with your leptin and your ghrelin, which are your hunger hormones. They regulate your fullness and your hunger cues, and you need to have both of them. You should feel hungry and you should feel full. So when your leptin levels are low, your body might not signal fullness properly, leading to overeating. Right? So if you're eating something and you don't feel full, well, I'm still hungry, so I'm going to eat. I'm going to eat. I'm going to eat more. Right? Conversely, high ghrelin levels can make you feel constantly hungry. So we want to make sure that we're figuring out what is going on. Why is this happening? So why could these hunger cues be off? Could be lack of sleep. Could be stress. These are going to come up so often throughout this talk. Could be poor food choices. So inflammatory foods, processed foods, lots of sugar. This could affect your hunger cues. Working out too much and not eating enough, or not working out enough. Okay? Because you can work out too much and not eat enough food, and that's going to really cause some problems with your hunger hormones. Could be hormonal changes, right? So you're going through perimenopause, menopause, everything going up and down. That could just be some things that are setting these hunger cues off. So you have to stop and pay attention and be in your body, be present in your body, and realize and take notice of what's happening, what's going on. And it could be your gut health is off. Okay, so number one thing you could focus on is fixing your gut health, which we'll be talking about here in a minute. So if you want to help to regulate these hormones, your hunger hormones, ghrelin and leptin, focus on eating balanced meals with protein, healthy fats, and fiber. These will make you feel more full. These will stabilize your hunger signals, but they will also make sure that you are hungry when you're supposed to be. Another thing is make sure that you're only eating 3 to 4 meals a day. You're not eating and then having a snack, eating snack, eating snack. You're not eating 6 to 7 times a day, and you're not just constantly snacking. Have regulated meals. Have a breakfast, have a lunch, have an afternoon snack, have a dinner. That's what I tell my clients to do. If you're eating regularly, your body will get used to it, okay? And your hunger cues will normalize. Paying attention to the things that could be off, your sleep, your stress, your eating the junk, working out too much, not eating enough, and things like that. Okay, so next is mood swings. they are another red flag. They are another reason why you may not be losing weight, especially if you're feeling them a lot. If you find yourself feeling more irritable, anxious, or even depressed, it could be due to the levels of estrogen and progesterone that are doing this, right? Which you can support naturally. You can support your estrogen and progesterone naturally with lifestyle changes. The nutrition, the movement, sleep, all the things that I'm going to be talking about or that I have talked about. But when they're off, that's going to cause mood swings. Especially if you're going through perimenopause and menopause. Wow, I am just struggling to talk today. You're going to experience more mood swings. So you may notice, like, one minute you're so happy and the next minute you want to kill everyone or you want to strangle everybody. Or maybe one minute you're like, oh, I'm just so tired and exhausted and I just don't feel good and everybody's annoying, and then the next minute you're like, I just want to love everybody. Right? It can happen just like that, right? So, what can you do to help with your mood swings? It's going to go back to this, the stress care, right? Stress management. Finding things to manage the stress that's going on in your life. This is going to come up over and over, and I'm going to tell you this. If you do not focus on your sleep and your stress, you're not going to lose weight no matter what else you try. So make sure you're finding something to manage that stress. Stress care can come in so many forms. Whatever brings you joy, whatever calms you down, whatever makes you feel good and gives you some you time. Could be exercising to move your body. Could be walking. Just find something that works for you to manage that stress. You manage your stress, you're going to have a lot less of those up and down mood swings, okay? Next is energy. How often do you hit an energy slump during the day? Maybe it's in the morning, you get out of bed and you're really tired. Maybe it's mid-morning, maybe it's mid-afternoon. A lot of my clients in the mid-afternoon are just like tired and they have that energy slump. So we add a mid-afternoon snack with protein and fiber because that's going to make them feel better. It's going to give them energy. If this is you, this could be a sign of insulin resistance or adrenal fatigue. Now, if you're somebody who eats oatmeal in the morning, has pasta for lunch, and then you're going to have a candy bar for a snack in the afternoon, this is huge. This is why your energy is awful, because your blood sugar is all over the place, right? So we want to remedy this. So it could be insulin resistance or adrenal fatigue, one of the two things. Your energy levels are closely tied to how well your body is managing blood sugar. So if you're eating all the sugary foods, you're not managing the blood sugar very well. If you notice frequent energy crashes, it might indicate that your insulin is not effectively helping glucose enter your cells for energy. Instead, it's just storing on your body as fat. That's why the scale's not moving. So, again, think about, are you consuming too much junk food, too much processed food, too much caffeine, too much sugar, too many carbohydrates, not enough protein to balance your blood sugar? Are you not eating enough? Focus on those things and you will see your energy get better. All right, next is cravings. Particularly, this kind of goes with the last one, right? Particularly, you're having cravings for sweets or carbohydrates. These are often a sign that your body is struggling with blood sugar regulation. So as you can see, another thing that's happening when we're going through perimenopause and menopause, our blood sugar is already all over the place. We become more insulin resistant, which means our body cannot handle insulin as well as it used to. It cannot use it and utilize it the way that it should, which is why we cannot overconsume the carbs that we used to. So when you're struggling with blood sugar regulation or experiencing, what's happening is you're getting this drop in serotonin. Serotonin levels will drop due to low estrogen, leading to increased cravings as your body just wants to feel better. It wants to have more energy, right? Because you can see all these are interrelated, right? If one of them's off, it's probably going to cause one of the other things to be off. So the first step is to realize that these cravings are your hormones talking to you. They are telling you to make better choices. They are telling you that you cannot eat all the sweets. You cannot eat all the sugar unless you want to have cravings and have no energy and have mood swings, right? So what do? You eat more protein and you eat more fiber. Lots and lots of vegetables. This keeps you more satiated. This keeps you more full. This makes you have more energy. This is what we did in the no sugar challenge. And so many of those women, they not only lost weight, but they had less and less cravings. So then they were able to eat more of these better, healthier foods and get rid of the carbohydrates, get rid of the sugar. They didn't need it anymore, and their body felt better when they did so. All right, so the last one is digestion. If you're experiencing bloating, constipation, or you're not going to the bathroom every single day like you should be, it could indicate your gut health is off, which is closely linked to your estrogen levels, which are going like this in perimenopause and then tanking in postmenopause. Estrogen is the hormone that regulates your gut microbiome, and imbalances with the gut microbiome can lead to digestive issues. So, lower estrogen, more digestive issues. So, if you are not, so that's where you're going to have more gas and bloating and constipation and all the things, right? So, if you're not already, make sure you're taking a digestive enzyme. I know some people may say it's not a good idea, but I can tell you that it has helped every single one of my clients with their digestive issues, with their bloating, with their constipation. And it's not something you need to take all the time, but we have to restore those enzymes back into our body, right? If you want to know which one I recommend, just go ahead and ask me and I will let you know. And also eat more probiotic type foods. So maybe you're like, I don't like taking pills. Perfect. Start taking some probiotic foods. But sometimes when we overconsume probiotic foods, because I found this myself, to me it leads to more bloating. Okay? So that's why I like the digestive enzymes, because the enzymes actually break down the food as you're eating it. Because what's happening, why we're having this constipation and bloating, is we have these enzymes that are in our stomach. When our estrogen drops, we don't have as many. So that food just kind of sits there, right? And that's when we have those, we just don't feel good. So when you take the enzymes, it breaks them down so they can dissipate, and then you feel better. But again, if you want to also add some more probiotic foods, you can add yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, kimchi, miso, I think that's how you it, miso, tempeh, or kombucha. Different ways to say these words. Some of those foods can also, what those do, so we have the enzyme, the probiotic is what puts the healthy bugs. That's what I tell everybody. The healthy bugs, the good bugs, the bugs that feed our body and make us feel better. That's what those are gonna be. And the enzyme that I recommend to my client has probiotics in it as well. So also ensure that you're getting enough fiber from fruits and vegetables and whole grains. Women are not getting enough fiber. And how do I know this? Because I have my clients track. And they come in and they're eating maybe 8 to 15 grams of fiber a day, when we really need to be eating about 25 to 35 grams. Okay? And that is one of the reasons why they're not seeing the weight loss. Because when you eat more fiber, it not only supports your digestive health, gives you regular bowel movements every day. You should be having at least one a day, if not two. Regulates your blood sugar. It's going to make you feel better. It's going to help with all those other things we talked about. It lowers your cholesterol. It helps support your gut health. Fiber is so, so important. That's why I tell my clients, focus on protein and vegetables, protein and fiber, right? If you're not sure how much fiber you're consuming, go ahead and track for a few days and see what it is. Check it out. And if it's not 25 to 35, how can you add more fiber? It can come in the form of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, nuts, seeds. There's plenty of ways to get more fiber. It doesn't have to come from a bottle that's Metamucil. You don't need that, right? Or those fiber supplements. Okay, so just to recap, if you're not seeing weight loss happen, it could be an imbalance of your hormones. So here are things that you want to pay attention to that will tell you if your hormones are off. Your sleep, your hunger, mood swings, your energy, any cravings, and your digestion. When you tune into these 6 things, you will get a clearer understanding of your hormonal health and what might be hindering your weight loss efforts in your perimenopausal and menopausal years. And it's going back and revisiting them. What is off? What do I need to focus on first? If I were you, like I said, focus on your sleep. 100%. Manage your stress, which will help a lot of the other things. It'll help with the sleep, it'll help with sugar cravings, it'll help with mood swings, it'll help with digestion, right? So all these are lifestyle pieces, lifestyle things that you need to focus on to balance your hormones naturally without going to get tested, because if you go get tested, you're just going to see, yep, my hormones are off. But then what? Then you have to go back and focus on these lifestyle changes anyway, right? And remember, it's not just about eating less and moving more, because that's not what's going to work. That's not what's going to work if you're in your 40s, 50s, and 60s. It's just not. It's about listening to your body and addressing the hormone signals it's sending you right where they are, and then taking action on them. So hopefully you found this useful, and if you did, please tag anybody in it, share it with your friends, share it on social media, whatever you can do. I appreciate your support in doing so. And I also wanted to let you know that this Sunday, I'm going to be doing a Reflect, Reset, and Take Control of Your Health workshop. Okay? It's going to be less than an hour. This is where we're going to take a look at 2024. What were your goals? What did you achieve? Celebrate them. What do you still want to focus on? What goals, what things do you want to focus on? What things do you want to see happen in 2025? And then take a deeper dive into what things didn't work and why, and then putting together an actual plan for the next year. Let's say, you know what, I really want to fit into a size 7 pair of jeans, and I have not done that in forever. Okay, so what action steps do we need to do? And what did you try last year that didn't work? Well, don't keep trying those things, because they're not going to help you. So we need to know what you tried that didn't work, and then put together a plan of what will work. What steps do you need to do? Who can help support you through this? What obstacles might happen as the year comes up? Oh, well, I have this trip coming up, so I may not be able to be on point with my nutrition. Okay, what can you do instead? Right? Putting together a plan. And from this, you can also take it and put together a, oh my gosh, my brain just went. Vision board. That's what it is. Vision board of what you want to achieve. I've done these many years before, not doing this year, but you can take what we put together from this workshop and make your own vision board to set it up. Because while I may not do this with my clients, I am constantly having them put reminders, little sticky notes. This is what my goal is, putting it on their mirror so they can constantly see it, and they're constantly reminded what they're working towards. Because if you don't care, and you just let it slide, right? So if you're interested in that, I'm going to put the link below. It's just a Zoom link. You just register. You will get a workbook. I don't have mine right now. You'll get a workbook to fill out all the stuff. You can print it off, or you can just write it in a journal. If you join me live, you can ask questions. We're going to go through things. I'm going to kind of explain things a little bit more. We'll do a little bit of the work on the call. And if you register, you can't make it, you'll get the recording and the workbook. So you'll get both of them. So you will be able to do it on your own if you want to do it, or take a look at it, okay? But if you don't register, you're not going to get the link. You're not going to get the workbook. So, and I also have some great stuff to mention at the end of that workshop. So I would love to see you there. Again, I'll leave that link below in the comments. If you want to sign up for that, go ahead. All right, that is it. Thanks again. I appreciate you so much. Have the most wonderful rest of your week, and I will be back soon. I hope this episode today resonated with you, and if it did, I would love for you to share it on your stories and tag me on Instagram or Facebook. A review would be appreciated too. Your reviews and shares not only help us to grow, but they give other women who are struggling through their menopausal years hope that they don't have to continue living the way that they do. Your questions and experiences are also so helpful in giving me subjects to talk about. So feel free to reach out to me anytime on Facebook or Instagram with anything. I would love to help.